Affordable luxury from the Middle East, 2 scents from Fragrance World and 1 from Arabiyat Prestige. Hello friends, I'm George, the nice smelling gentleman. Welcome back to the channel guys, I hope that all of you are doing well. It's time for your daily dose of some fragrance content, and for today I've prepared a review of 3 luxury smelling affordable fragrances from the brands of Fragrance World and Arabiyat Prestige. The ones from Fragrance World are called Tash 1 and Tash 2, and they're actually sold under the Athoor Al Alam sub-brand, which is supposedly a more budget-orientated sub-brand of Fragrance World. But nowadays, to be honest, I've seen that some of their scents go for an equal amount of money compared to their parent company from Fragrance World. And these particular two are actually even a little bit more expensive than your usual Fragrance World scents, but they come nicely packaged, and I think they smell really nice. And the first one that I'm going to talk about will be Tash 1. Just a very quick look at the packaging of Tash 1. Comes nicely packaged in a thick cardboard box that has this dual tone finish. You get predominantly, green color with some white accents on the front. The things that you should need to know about these fragrances, both of them are bottle size is 90 milliliters and the concentration is EDP. In order to get to the bottle, you need to slide those two parts like that, and they have magnetic edges, and all around the packaging is actually really nice and luxurious. This is the bottle design of Tash 1 from Athoor Al Alam. As you can see, the bottle has this very Middle Eastern look to it. It's kind of unique and I really like it. The bottle has nice heft. All around you get very nice quality. The cap is plastic, but it's a secure fit and you get a secure click. And all around I really like the bottle design on both of them. Now, Tash 1 from Athoor Al Alam is supposedly a clone of Reef 33. I don't have experience with the original fragrance, so I won't be able to compare it to the original one, but all I can tell you is that this also smells in a way similar to fragrances like Suspiro Vibrato, like Bulgarian Tiger, although this is more done in a similar style rather than smelling very close to those fragrances. The way that this is close to, Vibrato and to Tiger is by the fact that you get some citruses, you get some fruits, you get some oats and some spices, you get some ambery sweetness, just like you get with those original fragrances. But in my opinion, to my nose, Tash 1 is a more fruity, it's less citrusy and a less spicy version of something like a Suspiro Vibrato or Bulgarian Tiger. It opens up in a nice, bright, fruity way. You get quite a bit of citruses in the opening. You get some ginger in the opening of this fragrance. It's a kind of semi-fresh, semi-fruity opening. You don't get much spices. Or much spices that stick out, unlike what you get with Vibrato or Tiger. And this all around feels like a slightly sweeter and a hint more floral take on that original scent DNA, because also this one has the note of rose, which adds a bit of a floral touch. The rose note is not sweet, it's just more like giving it a bit of airness and a bit of sort of an floral feel to it, but you also get quite a bit of a fruity sweetness. When this goes into its dry down, it starts to become a little bit sweeter. You lose some of the spiciness, it becomes a little bit musky, but again not as musky as I get out of Vibrato or Tiger, and it's definitely a more sweeter scent compared to those, but definitely somewhere in the background you'll pick up the vibes of Vibrato and Tiger. And this is a very nice scent. It's fruity, it has enough freshness, enough citrusy freshness and ginger freshness in the opening. It has quite a bit of ambery sweetness on the dry down, some muskiness, maybe a hint of some oats. It's a nice fragrance, actually very easy to wear, but because it has more fruity sweetness, because it has less muskiness, I think of this one as being almost perfectly unisex. You can think of Bulgarian Tiger or Suspiro Vibrato, but done in a more feminine way. This is basically the easiest way that I can explain how Tash 1 smells. But it actually smells very nice. There's no harshness, there's no alcohol blast in the opening of this one, and the quality here is superb. When it comes to performance, Tash 1 has been actually a pretty strong performer. When I initially tried this one and I shared with you my initial impressions, I wasn't very impressed by the performance of Tash 1. My first few wearings gave me around about 7 hours of performance, but to be honest, around about 2 months later down the road and a few more wearings, this fragrance has become quite a bit stronger compared to what I got out of it originally. Nowadays, this easily gives me 8, maybe even up to 9 hours of performance, and also the projection has improved quite a bit, and it actually is surprisingly strong. At least it surprised me a little bit of how strong it actually became. Price-wise, at least I personally paid around about 45 euros to get both of them, both fragrances from this Tash line, which make them a little bit more expensive than your usual Athoor Al Alam or Fragrance World scents. But I think the price is quite justified because you get good performance, you get good quality, and you get really nice presentation. And versatility wise, I think this is a very, very versatile fragrance that can be worn pretty much all year round, and it, in my opinion, feels almost perfectly unisex. Let's move on to Tash 2. I'm going to quickly show you the bottle design. Again, it's exactly the same, but it comes in this blue color. I'm not going to go over the whole presentation because it's almost identical, apart from having a blue color instead of the green color, but again you get quite a unique looking bottle that feels of having very nice quality. Tash 2 from Athoor Al Alam is a clone of Ex Nihilio's Blue Talisman. Now, I don't have much experience with the original fragrance, but I definitely think that this gets close to the original one. And it smells really nice. It has quite an interesting opening that has a lot of pineapple fruitiness, but you also get a hefty dose of cardamom spiciness in the opening of this one, and a bit of vanillic sweetness. And it's a very interesting, very easy-going, very fruity opening. Maybe a hint of incense somewhere in the background, but the opening is predominantly fruity. In a way, you can think of this one like a more fruity, more pineapple take on the Creed Aventus scent profile. I'm not saying that this smells similar to Creed Aventus, but you'll get, similar vibes to what you get out of Creed Aventus, but minus the birchiness, minus the oak moss, minus everything else. Just take the pineapple note with a bit of incense, a bit of cardamom spiciness, and add some vanilla sweetness on top of it. When this starts to go into a little bit of its dry down, it becomes slightly green and also becomes quite woody on its dry down. But it remains fruity, it remains sweet, vanillic. There's some vanillic sweetness, there's maybe some ambers on the dry down, and this has a very sort of a bluish feel to it. It's another one of those fragrances that to my nose smell perfectly unisex, and they're like a unisex blue type of scent. That's the easiest way that I can describe how this one smells. It's fruity, it's sweet, you got vanillic sweetness, you got tonka bean sweetness, some oats on the dry down, a bit of spiciness. It's a very easy-going fragrance that is very smells very, very nice, smells quite luxurious. Performance-wise, again, this one wasn't very impressive when I initially tried it for the first time, but fast forward about 2 months, this has also improved. It's not as strong as the other one, the green one. If the green one gives me about 8 to 9 hours of performance, this will give me more like 7 to 8 hours of performance, about an hour shorter than the green bottle. Also, this projects a little bit softer compared to the green one, but still it has a very decent performance. In my book, 7 to 8 hours is well above average, and also again projection is more on the moderate side, but it will project nicely for about an hour and a half. The price is exactly the same, around about 45 euros, which is a good deal considering again you get a great quality, you get a very versatile scent. And versatility wise, again, I think this is almost perfectly unisex. This is more a warm weather scent in my opinion, but in reality you can wear it throughout the year. And moving on to the last fragrance, the one from Arabiyat Prestige that I'm reviewing today. It's called Lutfah The Seventh Heaven. This is the bottle that the fragrance comes packaged in. As you can see, it's a blue colored bottle with golden accents. Again, you get a plastic cap, which is a snug fit. You get a secure click. You get nice heft. The bottle size here is 80 milliliters. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the whole box, but I'll have to skip that part and only go with the bottle design. Lutfah The Seventh Heaven from the brand of Arabiyat Prestige is inspired by Imperial Valley from Giza. You get a pressurized sprayer, something that you often do with fragrances from Arabiyat Prestige. I keep praising the brand for offering a great quality, and this one is one of those examples of a fragrance with superb quality. Now, this is a very interesting, very Middle Eastern scent. I really like the scent profile of the original one, and all of the good clones that I own, I absolutely love. This is a fragrance that relies on a lot of leather, on a lot of agar oud. You get a lot of ambery sweetness, maybe a hint of vanillic sweetness as well. You get some citruses in the opening, a bit of a green touch, and also some muskiness. You'll get quite a bit of incense as well. It's a very interesting scent that at least from people that I've personally met, it's a hate it or love it type of scent. But for me, this was a love it first sniff. You know, that scent profile I absolutely love. It opens up very bright with a strong bergamot note. You get a bit of spiciness in the opening, but in the background you'll immediately get the leather. You'll immediately get the fruitiness. You'll immediately get the agar oud note and the sweetness from the ambers. And it's a bit on the challenging side, but the good thing is that the agar oud note in this one feels almost completely civilized. There's no animalic feel out of it. Maybe just a hint of animalicness in the agar oud note, but it's a very, very wearable type of agar oud note that has been used in Lutfah The Seventh Heaven. The more the fragrance dries down, the stronger the leather note becomes on the dry down. It becomes sweeter because the ambers are ramped up on its dry down. It becomes a little bit musky, and the agar oud is there to stay. So it's an interesting scent that, again, if you have never tried this scent profile, I strongly urge you to at least try it, because it smells really, really nice. When it comes to performance, it's a strong performing scent, easily giving me 8 to 9 hours of performance with quite a loud projection in the first 2 hours. So no problems when it comes to performance. Price-wise, this costs close to the other ones, around about 40-45 euros here in Europe, but this bottle is slightly smaller, so keep that in mind. In my opinion, it's a good deal because you get great quality and a very unique scent profile and strong performance, but it can be a little bit too expensive for some people. And versatility-wise, I've always thought of this scent profile as being perfectly unisex. I know a lot of people find it to be leaning to the masculine side, and this is definitely, in my opinion, a cold weather appropriate fragrance. And so guys, in today's video I reviewed 3 luxury smelling affordable fragrances from the Middle East. 2 of them come from the brand of Fragrance World and 1 comes from Arabiyat Prestige. I hope that you found this video interesting or helpful. If you did, give it a like, and I also hope that you're going to join me tomorrow for your daily dose of some fragrance content. And until then, stay safe and bye bye.